Hello everyone, today I am going to discuss a lecture on determination of viscosity by means of Oswald's viscometer. In last lecture we have seen about that is the definition of viscosity and its units in SI system and CGS system. The coefficient of viscosity can be calculated by using the equation that is Huygens-Pohus equation, that is coefficient of viscosity is equal to capital P pi r raised to 4 into S divided by 8 into V into L. Here P is equal to applied pressure, pi is equal to value 3.142, r is equal to radius of capillary, S is equal to time in seconds, 8 is equal to digits, V is equal to volume of the liquid, and L is equal to, that is the length of capillary tube. Now when we are going to discuss the absolute velocity, we have to use this equation, okay? But in actual practice, it is not possible to determine the absolute velocity. For that purpose, we can make the dynamic calculation. What is dynamic calculation? That is by knowing a quantitative relationship between the coefficient of viscosity of a known liquid, for example, by taking the example of a water and then by comparing the given liquid of its viscosity. Okay, that is one liquid we have to take that is of known viscosity, and we have to determine the other liquid of a unknown viscosity and its formula along with a density. So let us start with this. A quantitative relationship between the coefficient of viscosity can be calculated by using the indirect method, that is the determination of viscosity by means of Oswald's viscometer. In this method, we have to use here this method in three parts. First part is about construction. Second part is about working of viscometer. Okay, and third part is about calculations. Okay, now one by one we will discuss. The first is construction. In Oswald's viscometer, it consists of a U-shaped glass tube. Okay, in this U-shaped glass tube there are two arms. One is wide arm, in which the liquid which under examination or liquid we are going to study, we have to insert from this arm, and the another end is called as the narrow arm, in which a rubber pipe is attached for sucking purpose above the mark A. Okay, now what is the use of this wide arm? This wide arm has concentric bulb at the base, and while for narrow arm it is having the concentric bulb at the upper end. Okay, whatever may be the liquid we have to drop here, which can be inserted from this wide arm. Okay, of a known volume, that is equal to about 20 ml. Okay, now the height of the bulbs of two bulbs between narrow arm and wide arm is measured in terms of height, that is equal to h in centimeter. Okay, in the narrow arm, at the upper position of the bulb there is a mark, and for the base position of this bulb there is a mark. We have to determine the flow of liquid through this bulb to into this capillary. Okay, that is from mark A to B, the flowing of liquid through the bulb into this capillary, whatever may be the time required for this, we have to measure it. This is about construction. Okay, now working, how the viscometer is works. This is the capillary. Okay, now in the working section, first of all we have to wash the viscometer with a water, then we have to dry it means of a acetone, and then we have to add or insert the liquid which have to determine the viscosity of that particular liquid. That liquid can be introduced through this wide arm. After introducing a known quantity of liquid solution through this wide arm, the care should be taken that is the half of the portion of the base bulb of a wide arm with the solutions just above the A mark. Okay, the solution can be sucked by means of a rubber pipe. Okay, after sucking the solution in such a way that the solution should be appear below this mark, that is the above the mark of A. Okay, now while sucking the liquid, the care should be taken that there should be a no air gap or no air bubble in this solution through this capillary. Okay, now when the liquid is rises above the mark, that is above this A marker, you have to start your stopwatch. Okay, and just note down the time required for passing of the liquid through this bulb to this capillary from the B end, that is from mark A to mark B. You have to measure the time required for this flowing of the liquid. Whatever may be its density, according to density of the liquid can take the sufficient time. You have to repeat this procedure for 3 times, and just by taking the time, that is equal to T1 plus T2 plus T3, and again you have to take its average, that is T1 plus T2 plus T3 divided by 3. You get the average time required for the passing of the liquid through the bulb of the narrow arm through this point of the B. Okay, just repeat this procedure for the other liquids which have that is the coefficient of viscosity. Thus we can repeat the procedure for the second liquid. Okay, now last portion is about calculation. What is about calculation? Here in calculations, when we observe the time required for the passing of the liquid from mark A to mark B, we have to measure the times. Okay, you have to enter first calculation is, that is the determination of density of given liquid. For that purpose, you have to take the specific gravity water. Specific gravity water is like this. Okay, you have to fill up this solution first, and by means of this specific gravity water, you have to calculate the density of the given liquid. How you have to calculate this density of the given liquid? First of all, you have to weigh the weight of empty specific gravity water. Okay, suppose this is equal to W1 gram. Secondly, you have to wash thoroughly with water, and again you have to rinse with a acetone for the purpose of drying, and again you have to enter or add the liquid under examination, and then you have to weigh the specific gravity bottle on the digital balance. Okay, therefore weight of specific gravity bottle plus liquid, that is equal to W2 gram. Okay, now third is what? That is weight of specific gravity bottle plus non-liquid is what? That is the water, that is plus water. Okay, now this is equal to W3 gram. After getting these weights, you have to calculate the density of the liquid as here. Therefore, next calculation is, that is weight of given liquid that is equal to W4 is equal to whatever specific gravity water plus liquid or into 1, that is W2 minus W1, we get W4 gram. That is the weight of given liquid. In this similar fashion, you get the weight of water. Weight of water is equal to what? That is equal to, say, W5, that is equal to W3 minus W1. Okay, that is equal to W5. Once you get these weights, you can easily calculate the density. That is, density is equal to weight of liquid upon weight of water. Weight of water. Okay. Now, whatever is the value, you have to put up W4 divided by W5. You get the density. Suppose this density is equal to 0.00895. Okay. Now, after getting the density, you have to use your viscometer and you have to find out the time required from mark A to B, that is the flowing rate of the liquid. Okay. Suppose this is equal to T. Okay. For first liquid it is equal to T1 and for second liquid, that is equal to, for water, is equal to T2. You have to convert this time into a second one. Okay. Now, what are the calculations? See here. Next part, calculations, that is determination of viscosity or coefficient of viscosity as now the pressure exerted on the liquid to flow the liquid through the capillary is given by, through the height h is given by, for liquid 1 that is equal to eta 1 is equal to, we have to take this pressure, applied pressure is equal to what? That is this hydrostatic pressure, that is equal to value, that is equal to H into G into D. For the liquid first, these values are kept as same because same viscometer we have to use, therefore height is equal to same, G is equal to acceleration due to gravity, this value also will be same. First, just we have to change its density. Okay. Now, therefore we are putting this value in this equation, that is equal to H into G into D1, okay, into pi R4, Rs to 4 and time. Time is equal to, suppose, S1 divided by 8 into V into L. Here volume of the liquid is kept as the same and length of the capillary tube is also same. Therefore, these factors, that is these factors and these factors are remains the same except the density and this time required for the passage of flowing of a liquid through the capillary due to the pressure is only different. For second liquid, that is equal to, for water, that is a second liquid, eta 2 is equal to, what happens here? Height may be the same, H into G into D2 into pi Rs to 4 into S2, time in seconds, okay, divided by 8 into V into L. Okay. Now, call it as equation number 1, equation number 2. Taking the ratios of equations 1 and 2, we get what is the equation here? Here, therefore eta 1 upon eta 2 is equal to, okay, what we are going to discuss, that is eta 1 upon eta 2 is equal to H G D1 pi raised to 4th S1 upon 8 into V into L. Division means cross multiplication, that is equal to 8 into V into L divided by H G D2 pi R4th and S2. This factor, pi R, okay, pi R star, 8PL gets cancelled. What is the remaining? That is density and time in seconds. Therefore, we can write here as, here, therefore eta 1 upon eta 2 is equal to d1 t1 upon d2 t2. Okay, here t1 and d1 are the time required for unknown liquid, and d is equal to density of liquid. Okay, d2 is equal to density of water, and next to t2 is equal to this time required for water. These quantities are to be known. Okay, we have to calculate these quantities. We have to find out. We have to know this eta 2 of water, that is equal to 0.00895. Once you know the coefficient of viscosity for any one of the liquid, you can easily calculate the given liquid of its coefficient of viscosity. Therefore, by using this formula, okay, one can calculate the coefficient of viscosity by using the Oswald's viscometer. But when this calculation, that is eta 1 calculation, is made with the known values of a water with the same set of Oswald's viscometer, whatever may be the value of coefficient of viscosity is obtained, it is called as specific coefficient of viscosity. Okay, thus we can determine the viscosity of an unknown liquid. Okay, thank you. Thus, we have calculated the viscosity of an unknown liquid by means of Oswald's viscometer. Now, what are its advantages here? First advantage is that it is a very convenient method for the determination of. It is a very convenient method for determination of viscosities of liquid. And second advantage is that at different temperatures, by using Oswald's viscometer, the coefficient of viscosity can be calculated by keeping it on thermostat. Okay, that is, there are two advantages. It is a very convenient method for the determination of viscosity, and also at different temperatures by using this Oswald's viscometer you can calculate, that is, the viscosity of different liquids at different temperatures. Also, one more thing is that this determination of viscosity experiment, which is practically allotted for your syllabus. Okay, thank you.